Keyframes. Keyframes are one of the essential tools within Premiere Pro, as you can affect either the images or videos and the music. So either musical backgrounds or either audio added within your video, all of those can be affected by the keyframe. To start with the keyframe, you need to do this once you launch Premiere Pro. All you need to do is click on this range key over here and make sure you are selecting the Show Audio keyframe, and make sure as well you're selecting the Show Video keyframes. As mentioned, you will do this once at the first time when you're launching Premiere Pro. Now, once I'm done with this, you will be presented with a line across your video and another line across your audio. So at this point, I'm going to add a musical background right here. Now, as you see here, once I play, the music starts at the beginning, where I need the sound of those onions to appear. To do this, simply what I need to do is, I'm going to create a keyframe. But before I start launching the keyframe for the audio, let's discuss the keyframe for the video first. Now, keyframe for the video become very handy if you would like to apply transitions. And in this case, we're talking about fade in and fade out transition. To do this, all you need to do is go in with your mouse over this line over here, and all you need to do is click on the Control or Command for Mac, and in this case you will find a plus that appear on the mouse. So let me release my hand again. I'm gonna click on it again, and here you can see a keyframe. So it tells you here I'm going to add a keyframe. So selecting a keyframe, you'll find a little dot being selected within your video. So I'll do this twice. So let me just Control Z to undo this, or instead of Control Z, I can select and just drag it toward my video. I would add another one right next to it. And let's see here, I'm having two keyframes that are located within my video. So all I need to do at the moment is just dragging one of them down. So as you see here, as long as I'm dragging it down, that means the video just disappears. So once I start my video, you will find there's a transition just added over here. So this is controlling the opacity of the video itself. Also, I can actually extend those time for the opacity, so by dragging this keyframe toward the right. And as you see here, there's a time displayed below my video telling me this is the duration of the transition. So let's see now how it looks like. Great. I can even drag it more for more smoother fade in. Great. I'll do the same, but for the fade out. So I'm just gonna click on Control or Command on my keyboard, hit my timeline. This is the first keyframe, hit another. And why do I create two keyframes? Because if I'm creating only one keyframe and I'm just dragging it down, as you see here, the whole video is affected. And I don't need this. So I'm just gonna hit Command Z or Control Z on my keyboard. Now, if I hit another keyframe, I'm dragging it down. So I'm dragging it from this point over here. So imagine this is a hinge. So I'm just dragging this all the way down. Now I'm creating a fade out. Let's find out how that will look like. Great. So now I can apply another transition by adding another video. So let me just drag one of my videos only. So I'm just going to drag the video only icon over here. Just going to drag it down here. And I will create another two keyframes. One right at the beginning and one after. Let me just drag this down. Now I see here I'm having a little hump or a backward hump. So that means it's fading out and fading in back again. So let's see how that looks like. Great. So at this point here, I'm having a fade out and fade in. So this is how to apply transition within the video. Now let's do the same exactly but with the audio. So as long as this is controlling the opacity of the video, it controls the volume of the audio. So either the audio is going to be higher or lower in volume. So I'm just going to drag the audio a little bit down to expand my timeline. Here we go. Great. So as you see at this point here, I'm having two sounds that are overlapping each other. To be able to do this or to control this, all I need to do is selecting before my line. So I'm creating two keyframe. Here we go. 1, 2, using the control. I'm just dragging these down. But before I do this, you see all my sequences now are affected by my keyframe. So I'll do at the end, I'm going to copy this at the end of my track. So I'm creating one and another one. Now let me lower this a little bit. And I'm going to lower this a little bit. Now remember one thing, I'm not lowering it too much. I'm trying to keep it in the straight line. Here we go. So the music is not just disappearing, the music is still remaining, but the sound of the audience now is more appealing. Let's hear how that sounds. So I'm going to start right at this point here. So this sounds great for me. So I can apply this sound again by the end of the track. So let's say, for example, at this point here, I'm using the cursor. Here we go, or the razor, sorry. And I'm going to delete this part here. So now, as you hear my sound or the musical background, they are very high over here. So I need just to lower it a little bit as the end of the music. So I'm going to create two keyframes, 1, 2, and I'll drag this down. So in this case, as you mentioned, or as you see here within the sound bar, the sound is getting lower until it stops. Now let's find out what is the next tool. I can't wait to see you again in the next tool. Thank you.